what's going to take for the patience to run out?
I think what would it take for the American, there has to be some real pressure on the American public to make them have that commensurate pressure then on their politicians that overwhelms the actual influence of the Israel lobby. So, what would it take then to get the people of, say, the Bronx and Westchester County in New York to reelect Jamal Bowman in the face of $10 million from the Israel lobby? Like, what does it take to overcome that $10 million? The same with Corey Bush in Missouri. I think that was $8 million they put in there. I think it was $20 million between the two of them.
Mhm.
And, and what would it take? What type of political pressure does it have to exist and then surface and blossom to overcome that type of money? And you could see the influence it's had. I think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the best example. She just said something in the last couple of days that was very critical of the Biden administration. She forthrightly called it a genocide and said the Biden administration was responsible for it. She's doing it now, 3 weeks before the election. But
Yeah,
when she was on the podium at the
right.
DNC, she was full throated in favor of the Harris campaign and how they're working tirelessly for a ceasefire.
Yeah.
She knew it was a lie. And
Yeah.
you might say, well, someone like AOC's immune. There's no way they could spend $100 million. There's no way they're going to get her out of her office in Queens or wherever she is. But what if they
Well,
redistrict her? That's what they did to Bowman. They
yeah.
redistricted, right? I mean, so there is these sticks out there that, and they're the ability, the allowance for reasonable outliers, for reasonable dissent is still there, right? So you can have AOC put this tweet out 3 weeks before the election. You can have Sanders running around talking to everyone about this joint resolution of disapproval he's going to do after the election, right? Where, I mean, like, so, like, you could see how this continues. The infrastructure's all there, the support for it's all there, and they feel that the political aspect, they're insulated. That the politicians are insulated from public opinion. They're insulated from mass mobilization. They're insulated from facts and reality and truth. And so this can continue in a way that, say, Ukraine can't continue politically for the U.S. because there's not that same type of infrastructure, not that same type of insulation for the Ukraine project as there is for the Israel project for members of Congress. Now, what I think you'll see, though, is Ukrainians and other foreign countries will smarten up and start to mimic how the Israelis do things, which is now it gets back to how does it all end? We have to end our legalized bribery system, right? I mean, we have a
Exactly.
legalized bribery system for a political process here. And so what the Israelis do is nothing different than what the banks do. It's nothing different than what the military industrial complex does. It does nothing different than what big pharma and the health insurance companies do, right? It's a legalized bribery system, and they want something, they pay for it, and they get it.
Is that going to cost Harris the election? Because I think her poll numbers would have been a whole lot higher if she'd have thrown a bone to the Palestinians.
Yes, I think so too. And we have the numbers. We've had a number of polls that show that if Harris had done that, if Harris had been more aggressive towards Israel in terms of being more forceful, being more receptive to Palestinian concerns, that we have the poll numbers that show that she would have gained many more votes than she would lose from such a stance, particularly in states like Michigan,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. There've been a number of polling. The Cato Institute one comes to mind from about a month ago that shows clearly that you want to win in those states, embrace this, and that will bring you embrace a ceasefire, embrace an arms embargo, lessen your support for Israel, actually listen to the Palestinians, and that will bring you the votes you need to win in those states. And so you're confronted with this idea, this reality, essentially, that the Democrats are more concerned with staying in the good graces of the Israel lobby than winning the election in November.
Well, it's just the Democrats' modus operandi, blame the voters. It's like,
Yeah.
we're the lesser evil. What's wrong with you?